Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another movie review. And this time, I'm talking about Goosebumps 2. Yay! What is there to say about Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween? There really isn't much. This is a very generic family film that has the Goosebumps name attached to it. Now, the first movie didn't really feel much like a Goosebumps movie. I mean, it had some of the Goosebumps classic characters. Of course, Slappy, the Abominable Snowman, Slowman, yeah, whatever, that's me. The Invisible Boy, I think. Yeah, just a bunch of different characters from books that, I used to read Goosebumps when I was a kid. I used to have a giant backpack of Goosebumps books that I would just randomly stick my hand in when I was a kid and just like pull out random ones because I had a bunch of them, and I'll be like, I'll read a little bit of this one. I really liked the Goosebumps books when I was a kid. That was like when I was 8. Okay, that was almost 20 years ago at this point. So I'm not really the target demographic, obviously, anymore, but I did enjoy that first movie. I thought it was fun. I thought Jack Black was great. I thought the two main lead characters, they were fine too. I thought some of the special effects were really enjoyable to look at. I know it sounds stupid. The special effects made my eyes really, really happy, but they pleased the brain. There were some funny gags in there, and for the most part, it went by quickly, and I didn't really notice that I was in there for too long. This movie's actually surprisingly shorter, and I felt like it was like double the length of the first movie. Now I'm not gonna say this movie's bad. It kind of is, but it's not terrible. It definitely isn't. But it's definitely not as good as the first movie. Mainly because I was not enjoying the characters this time. We do not really have any Jack Black. Supposedly he still voices Slappy the Dummy, even though at the end of the credits it doesn't say he voices Slappy the Dummy. But a lot of articles and a lot of people have been talking about he does voice Slappy the Dummy, so I'm a little confused. So I'm going to say from now on he does voice Slappy the Dummy, mainly because it actually does sound like him. So it's either someone's doing an impression of Jack Black, or it's Jack Black. I don't know. I really don't know. The credits say it was someone else, so maybe I'm confused. Maybe I can't read. That might be the thing. Maybe it did say Jack Black, and I'm like, oh, I can't. Who's Black Jack? I don't know who that is. I don't know. Maybe that could be a possibility. But I was not entertained with this movie. There wasn't anything when it comes to comedy. Like when they're trying to be funny, it's not really funny. When they're trying to be cartoony and enjoyable, it's just not working for me. It's just a nothing of a movie. Like it goes through all of the motions you expect. There's a teenage girl who has a boyfriend who's a prick. You have the two main young teenage kids, like they're around like maybe 14, 15 or something like that, and one's the fat chubby dude, the other one's the black kid, and they have their personalities and stuff, and they find the book, they open the book, wham, they unleash Slappy the Dummy. Slappy the Dummy wants to go and take over the world by bringing all the Goosebumps characters back and yada yada. It's the same old crap, except this time we don't have the really cool Jack Black R.L. Stein performance, and we don't have the really awesome, like, they all come from each individual book and stuff like that, and the whole idea of R.L. Stein actually writing these books to keep those monsters in, besides, just here, they just come out, screw it. Like Slappy literally just says, I want to make a bunch of monsters appear. Wham! Oh, look at that, look at all these special effects. Also, I will say this, while I do really enjoy a lot of the special effects in this movie, and some of the creature designs are really cool. There's actually one that is a spider made out of balloons, and you get to see it like walk around and stuff. There's even like other ones, like the witches all look like witches, except their heads are like these giant like green spears. Interesting. You have a headless horseman that shoots fire out of his neck hole. That was cool. There's some cool visuals, some really fun things. But one thing I will say is that the movie feels cheaper. Like, the movie definitely feels cheaper. And I looked, the budget for this is $35 million compared to the first movie, which was like an $85 million budget. So they dropped the price of this movie significantly. And it shows. The special effects look about as good, but you don't see too many of them. And when you do, it's about an hour into the movie. And when you do, it's a lot of like quick special effects and then just people in costumes. You could just feel the cheapness of it. It just looks cheap. There's even a scene when they're in a car and it's like the cheapest green screen effect around the car because they didn't want to actually film in a car or whatever. So they just green screen and make it look like they were driving. There's just a lot of stuff here that just looks bad, like just really poorly done. But my major problem with this movie isn't that the characters aren't really likable, the acting isn't amazing or whatever, it's not really that funny, it's just really formulaic and kind of boring. My main problem is that it takes the Goosebumps licenses and takes all these really cool monsters and characters from the Goosebumps books and does almost nothing with it. Like it feels like they looked at the cover of all these Goosebumps books and said, you know what, take that thing, take that thing, take that thing, put it in the movie. Put it in a movie. I mean, it's cool. It's cool watching a headless horseman with like fire coming out of his neck hole. That's really cool. Spider with balloons. That's really cool, and it's a cool looking effect. But when it's just an effect and it's cool looking and it leaves no lasting impression besides like while you're watching, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then what's the point? Like Goosebumps, a lot of people remember some of those stories, you know. But this one's just like, no one's going to remember this. Everybody's gonna watch this, go, ooh, oh, that was cool. Oh, I remember that from the book. And then leave the theater and, I don't know, confuse this with the house with a clock in its walls. It's like, and I will say this. There is a reveal towards the end of the movie that is ridiculously wasted. It's so wasted. It feels like they probably filmed the movie already. And then this actor said he was available and they said, okay, let's film a little bit so we could say this person's in the movie. You most likely know what I'm talking about, but really they already spoiled this reveal in the trailer, by the way, so I'm not going to say who it is though, just in case. But yeah, it was really obvious, and it was a ridiculous waste. It was such a waste. When this character shows up, I'm like, oh, here we go, it's going to get fun now. Literally does nothing for the plot. That's why I feel like it was probably like it was shot later on. Like, oh, we just got done filming. We're wrapping everything up, but this guy is available for like a day shoot. Let's bring him in. We don't really have any way to put him in the movie, so screw it. Just say he's showing up. Whatever, who cares? It's very generic. The main characters aren't really likable. The acting for the most part isn't great. I think the main girl, who was also in Jumanji from last year, I thought she was pretty good, and I don't know, the fat kid from It is in the movie, and he's fine. It's just nobody's really all that great when it comes to their characters. Just generic stereotypes, kind of. Like, I don't know, like, he's a fat nerd, he's fat and he's a nerd, he does nerdy things, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, it's a very blah movie. Slappy's fun. I liked watching Slappy do his Slappy stuff. And again, I like some of the special effects, and I really like the creature designs. The movie also just felt really cheap, you know? It's just, besides some of the special effects, like just the way it looked, the way it was shot, the way it was like lit also. And I mean lighting. Now, I know you kids think lit means something else nowadays. Yeah, okay. I remember the good old days when lit meant like this. You see this? This is lit right now. That's why you can see me. If I turn that light off over there, unlit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm done. There you go. That's my review. I know it wasn't a very detailed one, but there's not much to say about this movie. There really isn't. It's in one ear and out the other. Chris Parnell's in the movie. That was a dankless role. Like, he shows up, he's like, hey, I'm Chris Parnell. You know me as Jerry from Rick and Morty. I was also in SNL. Whatever. I give it an 18 out of 40. It has some moments, but overall it was kind of just a boring mess. And it didn't help that I watched A Star Is Born right before this, and then First Man right after. So it was like this movie sandwiched in between some real good movies. It was like really crappy, stale cream from an Oreo cookie, but the cookie themselves they were great. Just the cream was stale. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's my comparison of this movie compared to other movies. Whatever. Bye.